Happy Saturday, and we are back. Thank you all so much for joining us here today in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And please go ahead and give us thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. Um, so if you haven't already, we would really appreciate you doing that. When you give thumbs up and when you share and when you drop comments, that helps with the algorithm. That's the way social media works, and it introduces our show to more people. So I just want to explain that that's how that works, and really appreciate for everyone to go ahead and share, drop comments, and let us know that you are enjoying the show. Share it with others so they can be a part of the conversation. Today's topic, we'll be talking about food taste and color, also life threatening food additives, colorectal cancer in young people, and there's going to also be a update on measles. So, again, thank you all so much for joining us here. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on stage so we can get started. Hello, hello, how are you?
Morning, Grand Rising, and all that beautiful stuff. It's good to see everybody today. Excuse us for our earlier technical difficulties, but we're here to serve you.
That's
Uh,
live TV.
yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, from wherever you're tuning in from. Really appreciate it. We're going to get going because we are definitely we respect your time.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and get started with it. So let's go ahead and talk about the taste of food and the color. The whole idea of the taste of food and the color of foods is all about the attraction. It's about the taste and also how we actually use our five senses. So, excuse me. There's going to be, if I could get let's go to the next slide if we can. Um, so we're gonna get a video. Would that be video play? Yes. Let's take a look at this.
Hey guys, do you eat Fruit Loops or other colorful foods, cakes, drinks, sodas? Some big changes could be coming to your food. That is because the FDA and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the head of the Health and Human Services Department, they're saying no more synthetic food dyes in our food. They're ordering all companies to phase all of that out by the end of next year. So that means your food could look different. The colors could be coming from natural things like beets and turmeric and cabbage. It's interesting because the people who make these food dyes, they say that they're safe, that they've been rigorously tested, and that they are being used worldwide. Our health leaders, they're trying to follow what's already happening in Canada and the European Union with this ban on these synthetic food dyes. So we'll see what that does for the nation's food supply and our health.
All right. Now, in talking about the things that are happening in the world today, sometimes it's very easy to get distracted. There's so much stuff going on. But what we need to do, or what is very helpful, is that we continue to focus on the things that keep us well. It's very easy to get caught up in the worldwide activity and lose yourself in it because it's much, much bigger than you alone. It's a lot of things that are happening that has been happening for years, and they continue to happen in a certain way that you become very distracted, sometimes despondent and depressed. So we want to get you back on track with your health, with your goals, those things that you have to do. Get out there and make sure that you stick to the commitment of living life at its best. I wanted to announce too that Dr. James Thompson has a wonderful book. I want you to check his book out. He has just released it, and I'm really excited about it. So check out Dr. James Thompson. visit him on Instagram, and he may be on TikTok also. But I just wanted to mention that. So congratulations, Dr. James. Just really, really excited about your contribution to all of us to learn more and to take action. We are definitely very thankful for you being here to listen to something that you can use right away. And we're talking about these chemicals. The chemicals that we're talking about are in our foods, and in these particular chemicals. Of course, everything is a chemical, but in this case, we're talking about some of the natural colors and the natural taste, along with artificial taste and artificial coloring. So that'll give you a good idea. Now, why are we talking about this? Because first of all, it's trending, and if you're keeping up with the news, you most likely have heard that RFK Jr. wants to, that's the Secretary of Health, he wants to remove all the artificial flavors or artificial colors from the food. Now, that may be a good a way to start. For the most part, we haven't ever heard of anybody getting sick or dying from these colors or the artificial flavors. However, we have seen different results over the years, especially red dye number three. Remember that's years ago, especially I think all in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. It was actually stopped. I stopped using it. I think it was about 1990. I might have those dates a little bit off there, but you can bet that they've been around a very long time. Now, why should we stop eating it? Well, this is a good time for us to acknowledge that when we're talking about food, we're talking about the way it smells, it tastes, it feels, it sounds, and also the way that it looks. So it attracts our five senses. And that's why we find ourselves in a situation where we're telling ourselves that you have to have it. And we go on to eat these foods without knowing long term effects. So we have up here, we have, like, for instance, the food colors, annatto, we have the anthocyanins, beetroot, beta carotene, caramel, carmine, chlorophyll, curcumin, paprika, and spirulina blue. All of these are what we call the natural food colors. But on the synthetic side, now when we say synthetic, these are man-made. They're not natural. They don't come with the plant. These are some of the uh, different synthetic food colors, and these are some of the things that you should be aware of. Now, I know many people have definitely gotten very distracted with this particular um, knowledge, because most people want to enjoy what they eat and they want to see what they enjoy. And when we're delivering food to you in the restaurant, or if you're doing, even putting the food together yourself, nobody wants to see food that look like you just scooped in some potatoes or some rice or some steak and just throw it on the plate. It seems to really put a big dent in civility. So um, we move on to some of the artificial flavors. And artificial flavors are the chemicals mixture. It's a chemical mixture that's made with synthetic, and that means not natural in this case. Synthetic just simply means to make, really. But in this case, these are those mixtures or chemicals that are not natural ingredients and is made in the lab, and they're produced by fractional distillation and chemical manipulation of various chemicals like crude oil or coal tar. It contains incidental additives. So that is there are other additives that I'm not mentioning right now, but there are other additives that can be detrimental to your health. And this is, of course, I'm talking about chronic. Now, some people are more sensitive, so they'll show up, the different symptoms will show up sooner than others. But it's good for you to know this. The type of added flavor also is in the category called artificial X flavors. And these are the same flavors as artificial flavors. Then we have the natural flavors, and the natural flavors are particularly or practically the exact same as the artificial flavor, not that much difference, but it's derived from substances found in nature, like your plants and your animals. Now, you might say, well, the natural flavors, wouldn't they do that? Well, I mean, the artificial flavors, don't they do the same thing? No, they don't come from the plants and they don't come from animals. So, you have, for instance, different essential oils that have different aromas and different properties. The same thing with the natural flavors. Also, these natural flavors can contain preservatives, emulsifiers, solvents, and other incidental additives, which can make up to about 80% or so of the formulation. So, a huge part of the formulation of your natural flavors can be made up by some of the incidental additives. Now, let's talk about some of the things right away about the things that we're eating on a daily basis and you can do something about today. We start off with this theater popcorn, for instance. And this it might like look harmless, but when we talk about this, one of the worst snacks that you can buy at the theater is popcorn. And unfortunately, it is also delicious and additive, and it's a delicious and addictive. And it seems like you can go through a whole large bag, that whole huge bucket, before all the previews are even over. Now, a medium bag of popcorn with butter topping has more than 50% of your daily recommended calories, which is usually an average of 2,500 calories. And if you're eating this popcorn, half of that, which is 1,250 um, uh, um, grams, that's what this is doing. I'm sorry, not grams but calories, but this is what you should be aware of, because this is how we can initiate obesity. This is something that definitely makes everything that you have worse. Obesity, there's the Noah, oh, it helps you to do this or that. There isn't any thing that comes to mind that is a benefit of being obese. Now, you have like professional artists that say they like being larger because maybe they can sing better. Some of them feel they can move smoother. Some feel that they can hit notes that they can't hit when they're smaller. And all of that is kind of superstitious, and also just it means it's it's just an opinion, subjective all the way. Popcorn can be an amazing snack if you cook it with an air popper and you add a bit of olive oil and sea salt instead of buttery topping for a lower calorie snack that's not only cheaper but is healthier as well. And if you're hoping to add some protein to your movie snack, Then you can actually mix it with raw nuts like almonds and walnuts and peanuts into the bowl, and you can just, munch away. Now, next, what is this? This is something that's fried chicken. Now, you probably heard of acrylamide. And when I look at fried chicken, I think about acrylamide. Now, acrylamide is a carcinogen that is produced when cooking some foods, especially deep fried foods. And fried chicken is one of them, along with fried potatoes like French fries, but especially you'll find acrylamide in potato chips. This is really important to know because most of us love chips. Anything in that area where you see in the bags that used to be corn, but now there's some kind of corn kernel or curled corn or popped corn or any types of processed food like that, you want to be aware that it could contain acrylamide. And again, when we talk about those things that are or have the potential for, like, carcinogens have the potential to cause cancer. Now, many people say that the fried chicken doesn't absorb the oils if it's cooked in. Now, while it may be true that cooking in very hot oil can prevent the chicken meat from getting greasy, the breading of the chicken, that batter of the chicken does absorb deep fried oil, and it is often full of trans fats. People still cook with these saturated fats, and this just packed with calories. When you speak of a restaurant, for instance, or a store bought chicken, it's even worse because it can contain saturated fats and trans fats and additives. Now, instead of just frying your chicken, what you need to do is to bake it in the oven. A big difference there. And you still get that crisp coating, because some people really like that crunch. You can do that baking your chicken, and you can cut the calories in half. You can also make more healthier chicken coating using whole grains like oats and whole grain cereal and quinoa, or simply opt to go coating free by marinating lean chicken breast and baking them instead. Now we have, this is something that you know exactly what this is as soon as you see it. This is fettuccine Alfredo. Now, fettuccine Alfredo is a classic Italian American favorite, and is packed with calories. Again, all of these foods that we love to eat are usually packed with calories and extra fat, because we know fat makes food taste better. Our original dish or the original dish is actually Parmesan mixed with butter. The Parmesan, of course, is the cheese, and the cheese mixed with butter. That in itself, if we stop right there, that's too much fat. But the modern versions are filled with heavy cream and refined white pasta. However, this pasta dish doesn't have to be unhealthy. You can opt for tomato-based sauces to cut calories and to get more vegetables in your diet. Now, whole grain pasta will also fill you up faster, and it also keep you full for longer, and that you can completely um, uh, have a dish that is gluten free with rice noodles, for instance. But all of these, because this pasta by itself can definitely cause you to have a sugar spike as the food is broken down and used for energy. Now, the different fancy coffees that we have on a continuum, uh, people do this daily, and they have all types of coffee drinks now. that it's a multi-million dollar industry. People love it. Some people are addicted to it. They have more than 3 cups of certain coffees, or their choice of coffee per day, and that it can be very deleterious. Fancy coffee, as it's called, many people enjoy their coffees like in the morning when they get up, but it could be packing on the pounds with this seemingly innocent drink. It's like, what is it? Just coffee beans? Well, the black coffee has 0 to 5 calories per glass, and that makes people feel good. Oh, I'm enjoying something, but I also have heard other things. Now, making it a smarter kickstarter in the morning, it's really important that first you have water in your body. I would even put some fruit on your stomach before you just go out into the day. And these are very simple tips, but they're super, super invaluable things that you can use right away. But as soon as you get started and you start your day off with all these different creams and sugars, and all of the calories increase, well, the fancy coffees are even much worse. So the majority of the fancy coffees, you can add flavor by adding syrupy shots, which are basically flavored refined sugars. You could top with whipped cream and drizzle some of that caramel or chocolate soft on it. I bet that you can already envision those calories adding up to well over 500 calories in one drink. So if you want to cut those calories, you can take your coffee black or with a bit of almond milk or soy milk. I don't really suggest the animal milks, because many times they have many recalls. There are also certain ingredients that's allowed in cow's milk that you probably wouldn't buy it if you knew what those things were and where they came from. You can even find almond milk and soy milk in lightly sweetened vanilla versions. So you can get that going and still have your coffee. But again, don't go too extreme with it. Okay, we're looking good. We're coming down now to the delivery, or the delivery pizza is the best way to say it. And you see everything on this pizza. Now, the pizza is a weekend favorite for many families, and is including my family too. We love pizza, but it's we make it a little different. One of the things, you get extra carbohydrates and calories in refined crust and fatty cheese, but less of the delicious and nutritious vegetable toppings. Your best bet is to make your own thin crust for your pizza at home, and then top it sparingly with low fat cheese. And I would say non fat cheese is more important. And sometimes these other things you can get now, the artificial meat that is made with plants, and add that to your pizza. Add all of the roasted vegetables, or other things that your heart may desire when it comes to making your pizza. Now, this is what's called a fully loaded potato. And a fully loaded potato, you see a little bit of everything on it, including all of that cream on the top of it is usually sour cream. And it has a host of other vegetables, scallions and potatoes, and other vegetables of your choice. And you load the potato. Now, the potatoes themselves are starchy. They're a starchy carbohydrate, and that's with little nutrition value. So there's not a whole lot there already. I love potatoes, But again, if you overdo it, that's when you're actually doing something that can easily cause, first of all, to you to become addicted. We become addicted to food because we eat it every day, and if it's something that tastes good, some people just feel like they have to have it every day. Now, the topping the potato with butter and sour cream with cheese and bacon, or other choices that will lead and can lead to a heart attack. The good thing is that it is easy to turn unhealthy food into a smart choice. You don't have to just eat it because it's like, this is delicious. I like the way it tastes. I don't want to change a thing. Just think about some of the results from those choices can be very, very dangerous. Now you can skip the butter and you can bake your own potatoes, and you can use low fat or non-dairy sour cream, or other like plain non-dairy yogurt uh, for the added protein. If you're thinking about where are you going to get your protein, so if you want to add cheese, I suggest that again you use non-dairy cheese, and it's getting better and better as far as the production of these non-dairy cheeses. You can add salsa, green onions, and other low-calorie toppings, and you could also opt to more flavorful and vitamin-rich sweet potatoes as well. Now we're almost there. A couple of more things. This is something that you may not be aware of, but this is poutine. Now, poutine is actually a dish that's probably known better in Canada than anywhere else. And poutine is delicious, and is still unhealthy. So, like a lot of times, you want, just because it has it has potatoes, but it has fried potatoes, and they're topped with these artery clogging cheese curds. And this is coated with thick, fatty gravy. Now, the French Canadian favorite is packed with a lot more fat. And if you love this topping on your fries with layers of delicious foods, then you need to eat this healthier combination, like a baked potato wedges. You can make wedges instead of just loading it, and you can also cut back on those saturated fats, which are in cheeses. The cheese is very, very. If you just stop eating cheese by itself, you do yourself a great service. But you can top the potato with salsa, and you can also top it with thick tomato-based ragu, and sprinkle some of that non-dairy cheese on it, and you'll be on your way to enjoying it. And you can cut down like half of those calories that you would eat in the regular poutine. Now, these little chunks here are beer nuts. And beer nuts, people go through bags of these loads who are sitting down and drinking beer or wine or whatever they drink. But usually beer nuts are because they're eating them with beer. Now, they are similar to honey nuts, also chip nuts, and are all very unhealthy snacks. So when you snack, everybody, you want to snack intentional. That means that you want to snack to keep from becoming very hungry and waiting at least 2 hours before your next snack or small meal. Some people don't eat that much, so 6 times a day. And some people eat less, even less than 3 times a day. But the more that you gather or collect knowledge about when are the best times to eat, you will find that my circadian rhythm, this is a program that will help you, as it's helped thousands of people, to turn around their habits about eating certain foods at certain times. You shouldn't just eat just without any type of strategy. Just you're eating because you're hungry or you see something on TV. You have to retrain, reteach yourself so that you can stop that type of behavior to better your life. Um, and of course, back to the beer nuts. Instead of all the sitting up on very passively and looking at hours of sports, you can actually enjoy like a baseball game or whatever your thing is, and you can keep your hands busy making less of these high sugar and high calorie nuts. So you want to eat some raw nuts. I know you can't get used to it right away, and shell nuts are very good, like peanuts, for instance. But you want to always eat to reduce the risk of disease and infection and sickness is really important. I think I just said that. Okay, so we're almost there here with the mixed drinks. That's another thing. I don't advise for you to drink lots of alcohol. You should drink a very small amount if that is your thing. Milkshakes is super important to take from your the habit of drinking milkshakes. Milkshakes are very fattening. They can just out of one glass, one drink of a milkshake. Do you know that you can actually they can contain over 3,000 calories in one drink? In one drink. So instead of doing that, get a healthy smoothie and satisfy that cold yearning and the delicious nutrients that you are eating. Now I'm going to bring up the wonderful Care so that we can continue this wonderful conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Are you able to hear me? Yes, I think you can.
Yeah, very loud.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that's here right now. Velma mentioned I've made a cauliflower pizza crust and it turned
Oh,
out great. I was like, ooh, okay.
yeah, that sounds great.
It does sound great. Um, I just at work we all have a vending machine where we use our what is it our employee ID, and we get two snacks for the for the day. So the funny thing is they had Lay's, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I know I don't need these Lay's, and I've gotten them before, but I was happy to see that they have seaweed now. So I was like, oh, I can switch out from getting these Lay's to getting the seaweed. So I was like, okay, I'm making my healthier choice, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my seaweed. I was happy, to be able to do that and not feel guilty about because it's either you use it or you lose it kind of thing with your employee card. So I switched over to that, and I was very happy. I was patting myself on the back like, "Ooh, Carolyn, good job." But
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, it does get tempting whenever you see other things there, and it's like, you want to go for the healthier stuff, or do you want to go for the not so healthy stuff? So it's like it does become a struggle when you have to make those decisions.
exactly. And I'm really glad that you're choosing or even just having the consciousness to eat better
Yes.
because we all can improve on the way that we eat. Unfortunately, many people are attached or addicted to what they eat and can't do any better or won't do any better because of an addiction. And I say it like that because I don't take addictions lightly.
Mhm.
These are things that really can change a whole, not just one life, but many lives that are connected to that life.
Right.
Let's look at and see if we have any questions or comments on how about
Some
Instagram.
comments. Let's see. As far as Yolanda says, I don't like iced coffee. It's loaded with calories, and it sure is.
See, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's right, Yolanda. Thank you for that. You know, more people, if you don't drink over 3 glasses of or cups of coffee, you most likely going to be okay. I still think that that's still too much. You know, drink a cup. You know,
Hmm.
there get your other energy from your meals, especially like your fruit in the morning, and then later on you have your carrots and celery and kale, and you have a whole panoply of choices to make. So don't get just stuck there. There's so many more things that you can do.
Right. Now, would you, here's a question here. Would you say, or would you agree on the decision that RFK is making as far as eliminating food color? Would you agree with something that he's doing?
Well, you know what? I don't. You know, some things that he says make sense. I think that using what RFK Jr. is saying is not to just throw all of his stuff away, say, "Oh, he don't know what he's talking about."
Hmm.
There's some things that make a lot of sense. So I'm about that. There's just some things that are unfounded, things that there's no proof. Where is this coming from? And it's like left field. Sometimes it feels like that. You know, people are still, for instance, attempting to um, define COVID-19, and you know, how did it happen like that? Why did it happen like that? Well, you know, RFK, I haven't heard him come up with what's his idea of COVID-19, and it's really hard for me to think about health when he sounds like he's in very poor health. Listening to his voice is a big turnoff. And if he's human, and so that's what really keeps me in balance, is like not to charge him with maybe a flaw, you know, like he's not indefectible. So there's some things that may, you know, we all have stuff. But besides those human things, I think that these so-called professionals need to say, or at least need to have a way to connect the people that are listening, the audience, the population, to this was proven over 1,000 times by, you know, Professor so and so all L. This is so important. But a person just come out and just say, "Yeah, you know, measles. I had this when I was a child, and it's really no big thing. They'll pass." Or saying something stupid like Trump saying that, you know, COVID-19 is just going to pass. It's just going to go. It's going to disappear. That mother sucker don't have any types of respect for life
Hmm.
other than his and his little um, crew that he has. Many people are dying because of these opinions, this subjectivity that I'm speaking of. So have the proof. That's what it's all about. You know, when you say, like, you know, according to studies, we're talking about according to the proof that was discovered by the studies. And that proof is what makes us say, oh, okay, all right, good. I can do this or I can do that. But when people are just putting on these name tags or they're appointed and stuff, I want to feel like they know what they're talking about, not just because they've been around a long time, not just because they have degrees, but because they've done their due diligence and they use science as the proof of the matter.
Right.
There you go, Yolanda.
Absolutely. There is a comment from Joe, and let me see. He says here, let's talk about alternatives for each meal. And my response with that would be eliminating anything that has um, any
Sugar and oil.
well, that too. But I was going to say dairy. You
Yeah.
know, because we have alternative cheese, we have alternative milk, anything that doesn't have any dairy in it. If you're using dairy, like the cheese, just go ahead and get non-dairy. And like Dr. Zarif mentioned earlier, it's definitely great substitutes now as far as cheese, closer to what the normal cheese
Real.
that we're used to.
The
And
cheese tastes like, yeah. Exactly. I use this, crack me up. Hey, brother Joe, I'm glad that you're here today. Um, I used to buy the cheese, and when they first came out, and with cheese, I won't say the names of the businesses and all that, but the cheese that I got, I would put it on like I wanted it to melt on my veggie burger, and that bad boy, it did not budge. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not putting this in my body. I use those things for frisbees. But that's some good advice, Carolyn. The other thing that we can do as far as starting off with the meals are things like what portion, how much food are you eating during that meal? If you have a huge plate, you can start off by reducing the size of the plate and then reduce the portions, especially those of us that want to bring your weight down. Now, when you're getting older, it's not that bad to have less weight for some people. And some people that's been slender all of their life, for them to have a little more weight, is the way that life works out sometimes, that it works to your advantage. You don't have to look like somebody else. You can look like the way that you want to feel and express yourself through life. The other thing about the what you can do with the meals is start off by just thinking about some of those things that you feel that are unhealthy for you.
Mhm.
Just what do you feel? Let's start scratching those out. I'm not going to eat this all of this spaghetti and white rice, and too much sodium there. I put too much salt on like that, or I use too much sugar for sweets. I really like cookies. I'm a cookie monster. I really like cookies, but I know that I have to have, okay, that's it for today. And You have to have that cutoff. You got to have that discipline to do that. And you find out that through all of that discipline, you really start to get the kind of results that you want. I have some on my earlier videos. I have these real dark spots. I had these real dark spots here, and of course the melanin. But these are they're getting lighter and lighter. I'm using everything natural and even rose water, and these different spots and all stuff that are just finally clearing up. um, I really found that having something in my body naturally, or something that I wanted to put on my body, that's when it really pays off for me, when I read those uh, ingredients and I find out that is nothing but that in it. Now, there's some preservatives like Irish moss, for instance, that may be in something, but if it's minuscule, if it's a small amount, then you can use that, and again, sparingly. Don't I've seen people that even on YouTube, they take a big old thing of goop and you know, and it's like very, very little, and rub into your face, like the different creams and the different types of topicals.
yes.
All right, shall we continue? We're gonna go ahead. Oh, did we look at what's happening over here on Instagram? Uh,
Insta.
Instagram, we want to welcome Sarah, and that is FRMSAC. Okay, from Mac. So Sarah from Mac, I want to thank you for being here. And Charles Bullen. Oh, that's Charles Bullen Music. All right. Sound like y'all got it happening over there. Thank you for being here Really appreciate it. So now I'm gonna go back to, wow, man, this time is something else. Uh, but we're gonna go. We're gonna take you. You can hang on a little longer. We owe you more minutes here, and let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. Okay, so let's bring up the next slide. So we're talking about some of the threatening um, uh, food additives, and these food additives are in most foods, and that's what we let's look at some of these right away. Now, when we talk about milkshakes, well, I already went through milkshakes, so I'll just go ahead and pass that. The Now I think I'm where I want to be. Let's talk about again these chemicals. Some are unsafe food additives. And with these unsafe food additives, it includes the artificial dyes and flavors, artificial sweeteners, trans fats, carrageenan, the uh, um, monosodium glutamate, and we have high fructose corn syrup. Now, I had a lady was asking me, how do you say, is it fructose? It's actually, I've heard it said a few ways, fructose or fructose. I don't know why that word was not invented with just fructose, but fructose is also in some uh, roots, some vegetables also. So that's probably why. And then we have the butylated hydroxyanisole and the butylated hydroxytoluene. And it's actually, that is a toluene. Toluene is a three syllables there. And the BHA and the BHT, you will find that in a lot of snacks. And sulfites. Now, you want to avoid sulfites. Sulfites are the stuff that they spray on food to keep it from aging, and that is something that you want to keep in mind. Now, if you're eating at these restaurants that say all you can eat, like in when you go to these places like Vegas and the different buffets, now it might not be all of them, but there's probably a larger number of those that use sulfites than don't. You want to avoid sulfites, and you want to avoid the bisulfites. You want to avoid some of the meta bisulfites, sulfur dioxide, and there's much more there. Start getting used to saying some of these names so that you can have a turn on, not a turn off. When it goes to the trans fats, you're dealing with a lot of partially hydrogenated oil and hydrogenated shortening. You don't want to assume that just because it's in a pretty bottle or pretty packaging that is delicious and it is right for you. Now, this is an interesting carrageenan. Carrageenan. Now, the carrageenan is, I wanted you to get, because it's like people aren't really clear on carrageenan, and it's a common food additive uh, with no nutritional value. That's the spooky thing about it. It's extracted from a red seaweed, and it's called Chondrus crispus. And I know the first thing you're going to say, oh, that's the same thing as sea moss. Well, this is popularly known as Irish moss, and Irish moss is also known as sea moss, and is used as a thickener and emulsifier to improve the texture in ice cream, yogurt, cottage cheese, soy milk, and other processed foods. Um, Now, remember, processed and refined are two different things. When you refine something, you actually process it, you change it, and you also remove the nutrients, and then you might enrich it with some. That means to put some of the healthy nutrients back into whatever you process. But processed foods can be very easily as cutting a head of cabbage and making slaw. That's processed. And that's with, I'm not talking about a machine. I'm talking about you taking it, or even if you pluck the leaves from the cabbage or lettuce, that is also called processing food. And of course, you probably heard, the food processors. So it's a big difference in refined foods and processed foods. They're two different things. Now, some animal studies have linked degraded forms of carrageenan to different types of food. And these different types of food can cause ulcerations and cancers of the gastrointestinal tract. And more worrisome, undergraded carrageenan is the type that is widely used in foods and has now also been associated with malignancies, that's the spreading of cancer, and stomach problems. And it appears that acid digestion, heating, bacterial action, and mechanical processing can all accelerate degradation of food grade carrageenan. So the researchers have used carrageenan to cause inflammation in the tissues in order to test the anti-inflammatory properties of new drugs. So there's a constant searching for a better way to eat, the better way to understand nutrition. We see it more in our families, and I'm certainly thankful for that. And I want you to continue doing that because it really makes a big difference. Now, when it comes to baked goods and all that, there's a real simple name to remember, and that's potassium bromate, which is possible human carcinogen added to flour and is used in packaged baked goods. So keep that in mind, potassium bromate. The next time you buy these baked goods like donuts and bagels, and you have like the long loaves of bread, all of these things are croissants. All of those things are very popularly known. The potassium bromate is used especially in those packaged goods. Then we have tortillas. Now, tortillas have what is called propylparaben. Now, the propylparaben is a preservative and is used in pastries and some tortillas. And it causes developmental and reproductive harm. So a lot of things that you may not eat, especially those of you that are in prenatal care, you're expecting a child, if you haven't building a family, keep in mind that these types of chemicals can be and have been shown to cause deformations. So a child being deformed, and that's from head to toe. Many things can definitely be compromised because of eating these types of food additives. And then there's BHA. We talked about that, but acrylamide, I wanted just to go over this because if you haven't heard of acrylamide, this is in that perfect bread that you see. You know, the kind that's perfectly sliced and perfectly colored and is spongy, and the commercial bread. Well, it could contain acrylamide, which is a potential carcinogen. Now, French fries have a big reputation for this acrylamide because you drop it in very, very hot oil, is deep fried, and it is something to make your potatoes crunchy and very irresistible. Now, That's the French fries, but even more, potato chips have more acrylamide or a higher risk of acrylamide, along with delivery pizza, as I said earlier, your corn flakes and sugar pops and all those other different types of cereals. I would say that you need to stop or eat these particular foods minimally so that it doesn't increase your risk of disease. That goes along with coffee, also, everybody. Now we go to the butylated hydroxyanisole, and that's the BHA, and it's a preservative that's used to cure meats. Now, some people cure meats, which means that they rub it down with salt and, like for instance, pig. They'll take a pig, hang it in the back of their shed. These are people that usually are farmers or people that live off the land. They cure the pork by rubbing it with salt. They let it drain, and a lot of times the trichinosis worms escape. Is makes your stomach. Some of us, I wouldn't say all of us, because some people got a stronger stomach than I've seen. So here, this is what RFK is talking about. RFK Jr. is talking about the different artificial colors and different artificial flavors that you find in Fruit Loops and all the different types of artificial flavors and colors. He's talking about not using those. Well, that's no big thing. The answer is this: find other sources to make these colors. And you might have to make up some other colors that's not exactly like this, but it's like find how to, mix the different chemicals, the natural chemicals, and then you can continue making the candies and cereals, so forth, out of healthier uh, ingredients. Then we have the butylated hydroxytoluene, and the superhydroxytoluene, also called BHT, is a preservative and is found in those cereals that I just showed you and other foods. Its chemical cousin is BHA. So that, remember, that is the hydroxy, the butylated hydroxyanisole, and this is the butylated hydroxytoluene. Titanium dioxide. Sounds dangerous. The titanium dioxide is a color addictive. Uh, uh, I said this is in addition to some of all of the things that they use to make these cereals. You have in it many of these chemicals so that they can last on the shelf. They can also hold their crunch even if after being on the shelf for a very long time. And this titanium dioxide is a color addictive uh, additive. I keep saying addictive, additive, and this is used mostly in candy, and it may damage your DNA. Now, some people feel that your DNA cannot be damaged or injured, but science tells a different story. You can damage your DNA, and your DNA can influence the way that the makeup of a person, of a human being. Now you have the Pop Tarts. That looks good to some folks, but what color is this? How did they get this blue? And that chocolate looks like not so good, and strawberry maybe, but that doesn't look healthy. And these are different breakfast tarts. Some sort. The thing that we want to do, the last thing I want to go over here, the seven artificial dyes, and that's the red number 3, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, blue 2, and green 3. These are all synthetic food dyes, and they're found in many types of foods and beverages. And that's it for us today. And you've been listening to The Mind of Nature. And I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And we're glad that you tuned in today, Care.
Yes, thank you so much again, everyone that tuned in. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I haven't said it in a while. I'm going to say it right now. Please don't keep Dr. Zarif a secret. Share, share, share with others. Share it in your on your Instagram, on your Facebook. Just go ahead and share the YouTube channel. It's the easiest thing to get to, for anyone else to get to, so they don't have to create a Facebook page if they don't have one, things like that. But we do want to get people on the more people on the show. We appreciate everyone that's here today, dropping comments. Really appreciated that. I always like to engage with everyone in the comments, and everyone sharing and just giving thumbs up. We appreciate all of it. So thank you all so much. We're here every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST.
And I want to also add, everybody, Carolyn, this is something that I'm sure you agree with. We want you to come and work out with us at Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church at 6614 Western Boulevard or Western Avenue. We want you to come and join us. We're there at 9 a.m. And we have classes that we can teach. You can ask questions, take down if you really like. People that are really suffering can really relate to this. If you're feeling good and you're feeling great, well, still come, because we want to help you to continue that. We also work out. Now, some people used to work out long time ago. I remember because I was there, and I haven't seen you in class yet, but come out. I want you to come out and enjoy. There are a lot of people that, oh, I'm so happy that I'm there. And thanks to my wonderful sister, Michelle Franklin Glass. She is one of that's my angel. She's a sweetheart, and she really kept me focused while we weren't working out, to keep me in the frame of mind of how important I am to the community and how important the community is for me. So I always thank Shell for her contributions. And I want to thank everybody. I keep saying thank you because we are so thankful. We've been doing this quite a while, and we're still doing some stuff. And thanks to the wonderful Carolyn Gento, she is really the glue to all of this, because she helps to put everything together. You see, we've been getting better and better, and we're going to keep on growing. The largest room for improvement is the largest room on the planet is the room for improvement. We keep on pushing, and we keep on bringing to you all the best information that we can.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Zarif. I'm the nutritionist, and thank you again for being here.